This is Hailey Dunn.
13-year-old cheerleader.
She's a wonderful girl.
She was headed to a friend's house for a sleepover.
Last time anybody saw her alive,
but never made it. The search for Hailey Dunn begins.
I left from work and went to the police station in Colorado City and reported her missing.
This is Hailey Dunn's house, the last place she was seen before disappearing.
Who would want to harm the excellent student who has lots of friends and is popular in school?
Somebody took her. She's mine and Clint's daughter. We want her back.
Hailey, 5'1", 120 pounds with pierced ears.
Hailey's friends and family are desperate to find her.
Last seen wearing navy blue sweatpants, a light-colored short-sleeve t-shirt, and pink and white shoes.
Her family and friends describe her as a bubbly 13-year-old girl that's involved in sports, cheerleading, and church. A 13-year-old this whole community wants home safely.
We are taking your calls live, and joining us tonight, Hailey's mother and father. They have been separated for 3 years. They're in the middle of a divorce, but they are uniting tonight in the effort to find their little girl. Take a look at this 13-year-old cheerleader. She was on her way to her dad's house. He lives right across the street. Then for a sleepover at a little friend's down the road, maybe 4 to 6 blocks max. She's gone. Since when did it occur in America that you can't let your child walk 4 blocks down the street from your own front door? Out to the lines. Sue in Wisconsin. Hi, Sue.
Hi, Nancy. How are you tonight?
I'm good, dear. What's your question?
Well, what I'm picking up on after raising 4 kids is the idea that she was to go to the friend's house, Mary Beth, and she never showed up. If Mary Beth was expecting her, had she been trying to call either the mother or the boyfriend to try to see where is she? I mean, she's maybe an hour late or she's 2 hours late, or is that just the boyfriend's story that she was going off to a sleepover?
Okay, after you, Alexis Weed, our producer on the story. What do you know?
That is the boyfriend's story, according to what the mothers told us. And also, Nancy, you know, Hailey didn't take any of her personal belongings with her. Her mother had told us if she was planning to leave, she likely would have taken a backpack, some sort of bag other than just the clothes that were on her back.
Now, wait a minute, Alexis. I don't know if you grew up going to sleepovers across the street or not, but when you say if she was planning to leave, let's be specific. Do you mean if she's planning to run away or she's planning to go to a sleepover?
Well, Nancy, according to the mother, she hadn't even told this friend that she was planning to have this sleepover. The police have interviewed the friend's boyfriend, and as far as we know, this friend had no idea she had plans for a sleepover that night.
You mean the little girl,
yes,
Mary Beth, or the little girl's mom?
The little girl.
All right, because when I grew up, it was very common. If I was going to spend the night at my little friend's house, I would just go over there. I didn't need to take anything. I was coming right back the next morning, right across the street. So why would you pack a big bag? So if she was planning a sleepover, you know, I don't really see that she would have dragged a bag along with her. But let's ask the mom. Billy Dunn is with us, joining us from Colorado City, Texas. Miss Dunn, when she would typically go for a sleepover, would she take a bag and take a lot of stuff with her?
Nothing at all.
Okay.
She would...
Go ahead, dear.
She would just go over there with whatever was on her back and wait till the next day to come home, brush her teeth, take a bath, freshen up.
Right, right. That makes perfect sense to me. So the fact that she did not take anything with her, that doesn't strike you as unusual.
Right. That's why I'm getting worried that maybe my baby didn't leave on her own for this long amount of time.
Okay, Miss Dunn, I want to go back over why the local police said this was a runaway. Why did they classify her as a runaway?
All I know is because nobody saw her being abducted.
Oh, Mark Class, that's breaking my heart. I mean, did we get an Amber Alert? Did we get anything at all?
Well, you see, this is the perfect fallback position for law enforcement, and it's really a 20th century fallback position. If they can say that it was a runaway, that absolves them from responsibility and puts the onus of the recovery on the shoulders of the parents. It's irresponsible. It's not understanding the dangers that children live with in this country, and it's shirking your responsibility. And as I said, this has been mismanaged by law enforcement from the beginning.
You know, Mark, it's gotten to a point now. I mean, I was this way when the twins were first born. When they go outside the home, either me or my husband or my parents, their grandparents, are with them. I mean, there's no way would I let them go play in the front yard anymore. And this is why. I want to go back out to the lines, but very quickly, you may have been hearing a dog barking when I would speak to Billy and Clint Dunn. Joining me right now, Brad Dennis is with us. He's the Director of Search Operations for Class Kids Foundation, and they made an opportunity for him to be with us tonight. He's got his dog with him. Brad, let's go over what you believe may have happened with them looking for the little girl. Now, my question is, if she had walked in the direction of that Weston motel before, I mean, it's only a few blocks away, according to the mom, could they have picked up that scent? Did it have to be from that day?
They definitely could have picked up that scent. You know, the key for the bloodhounds is to get activated as quickly as possible, and from the information from your earlier caller basically suggested that they were activated early on. But bloodhounds can definitely do this job. I mean, they are trailing machines. That's exactly what they're bred for. They have 230 million olfactory receptors inside their nose, which is 40 times that of what we have.
Let me ask you this. How would they be able to tell, for instance, that she went from the home to the father's house and then toward this motel? How do we know that she wasn't coming backwards? I mean, can the dogs determine that? I don't see how they can.
They actually, they do this a number of times whenever they're setting up their training and their trailing exercises. Is they'll run backtracks. They'll have their subject actually run backtracks. It'll give a different indication to the handler from the canine that this is a fresher scent versus the older scent.
Well, you know, you just taught me something new. Thank you, Brad Dennis. I was wondering about that. I'm going to go back to Billy Dunn. This is Hailey's mother. How far do they tell you the dogs tracked your little girl to that Weston motel? Did they track her into the lobby? Did they track to a certain room, to the parking lot? How far did the trail go?
They didn't tell me that. They just let me know that to the friends, to the motel, and they're reviewing the video at the motel and calling everybody who had been checked into the motel that day.
Now, a woman in the community says she spotted Hailey that evening. This would have been Monday evening with the little neighbor girl and the neighbor girl's little boyfriend. What would he have been, 12, 13? Is that the little neighbor she was going to visit?
That was the girl she was going to visit. She saw Hailey, Mary Beth, and a boy that she didn't recognize.
Now, have you spoken with Mary Beth? Did that in fact happen?
I hadn't asked her about that. I'm letting the police handle Mary Beth. I do call her to ask her, hey, what did Hailey say to you on Monday? Did she call you Monday? Did you guys text? Did she say she was going somewhere else Monday or with another friend Monday? And she tells me no.
Did she say she even saw Hailey on Monday?
She hasn't told me that she did, no.
Okay, so to your knowledge, Hailey never went to Mary Beth?
Right, that's what she says.
Out to the line, Stephanie in Ohio. Hi, Stephanie.
Hi, Nancy. I'm so glad to hear you're getting better.
I am. Thank you.
And I always keep you in my prayers. You are my favorite.
Stephanie, thank you.
You're welcome, sweetheart. My question is we all, you know, I keep hearing about the dogs tracking the little girl to the hotel, and they're reviewing the tapes in the hotel. What about the outside cameras? And, you know, they should reach a pretty good distance around that whole hotel area. So have they looked at them, you know, if she was in the parking lot?
Good question. To Andrew J. Scott, former chief of police, Boca Raton, president, AJS Consulting. What do you know about motel surveillance?
Well, motel surveillance is usually better than most, and hopefully in this particular town it's the same case. They're always placing monitors outside of the hotel premises, looking out into the parking lots, as well as into the lobby and what have you. So there should be some surveillance camera footage if the young girl was indeed at the hotel. So that's a good lead.
And Andrew, if the motel hasn't taped over it, you know, that's what happened in the Chandra Levy case. They taped over it every 72 hours.
That's correct, and hopefully that's not the case, Nancy.
Well, I tell you, the caller that called in asking about, I believe she stated, why didn't the little friend's mother call asking why Hailey didn't show up. And I thought for sure we would go lead right into asking the mother why she didn't call on Monday night to check on her daughter. It just didn't go there, and for whatever reason, Nancy is not asking that question. I just want to know why. That's all. Just simple. Why not? Because basically she's going on what the boyfriend told her. So we'll see if he shows up for his poly tomorrow.